All right, so Reaktor. I'm gonna go over here and grab my Reaktor. Where is it? It's in Instruments, Reaktor 6. There we go. So I'm just gonna drag that down there into my channel. And once I do that, it's gonna pop up like this. Now, if this screen does not pop up in the beginning, you kind of want to get it so it does come up like this in the beginning, because this is just a good way to start. And it's down here with the show start screen when opening Reaktor is right there. And if it's not up, I believe you can get to it in the options over here. Options settings, maybe. Settings? Oh, man. I can never remember how to get it up if it doesn't come up like this. Maybe into preferences. Let's see. General. On start. Yeah, here we go. Under general, have it so it says on startup, show startup screen. Show start screen there. This is really, you really want to have this set up here so that it always shows up with this screen that we're showing right here. Other things in the preferences are create backup file before saving, might be good, or restore workspace with ensemble, globally display event loops, mute audio during core compilation. That's if you're more of your building stuff with Reaktor. CPU usage, the max CPU, however you want to do it here. You can see I've got 8 core processors here. Let's see here, directories where you've got your sound libraries and stuff like that. You want to have that set up there, and so it knows where to go. So for example, my it's not here anymore. Let's move this. So I click on that folder because this is where my factory library is. So on here, I'm gonna put this over here to my Zaphod hard drive, and in here, users shared Reaktor. There you go, Reaktor factory library. And just hit that there. Boop. Choose that. So that's good. That's where my factory library is. And if you want to have it put your ensembles and stuff in different places, it's not a bad idea to set this up so it puts them in the right place wherever you want it to be. I should probably set this for my I don't really do a lot. I don't really make a lot of my own libraries of stuff here, for especially with Reaktor. But if you wanted to put it somewhere like my user library, I would say, let me say here, my user ensembles here. You know, I'm going to keep this on my hard drive for now, but what you could do is, like, I would say maybe put it into like a Dropbox or something like that. I don't really have I say that, I don't have it set up like that right now, or maybe I do, I don't remember. But when this installed last time, it didn't install to that place. So this is something that you want to definitely set up, especially where your factory library is, so it knows where to go. One thing that I do is I do like to put my Reaktor factory library and stuff like that on my internal drive, just so I can always get to it wherever I am. So I'm going to go ahead and put that back to where it was, because I don't... Yeah, I'm going to hit cancel on this. Oh, I can't hit cancel. There's no cancel. Okay, whatever. I'm just going to keep it here. It's fine. It is what it is. I usually have this hard drive connected when I'm using stuff. Usage data, data tracking if you want to data track, or if you don't want to data track, whatever. Okay, and then close that. And so that sets up your basic general preferences. If you want to set up where Reaktor is going for your audio and stuff like that, you can go to settings, and like in here, there's going to be settings for stuff, sample rate, control rate, store panel set, recall panel set, some stuff like that. And then there's also a help view here, so you can go into native access, you can online documentation, all that stuff. You definitely want to become familiar with this. Reaktor, you can run it on its own, and if you do that, then like your audio preferences and stuff like that can pop up as well. But Reaktor is really, it's too complex to not look at the instruction manual on it, because it's not just one synth or one effect. It's a whole bunch of synths and effects, and you want to really dive into this stuff. So down here, there's Discover Reaktor Instruments, there's Getting Started, Watch Tutorials, which I recommend. There's the Browse the Reaktor User Library, and there's the Read Documentation. So you definitely want to you want to go into this stuff here. But for right now, what we're going to do is we're going to hit play. Just a little bit of a breakdown about these three things here. Play is when you just want to use the synthesizers and effects that come with Reaktor various instruments. Patch is when you want to use your reactor blocks if you want to make modular synthesizers, and then build is when you want to build custom reactor patches from scratch. We are not going to talk about build at all because that's really complex and it gets really deep really fast. There are tutorials you can watch about this that are from Native Instruments. I've gone through a couple of them. I know the basics of it, but it's kind of like a modular synth actually. But it gets really complex really fast if you want to build anything interesting. If all you want to do is just make basic stuff, I would suggest don't make basic stuff just for the fun of making stuff. I mean, if you want to just have fun making stuff, go ahead. But if you're just like, I just want to make a little basic synthesizer, don't do it in here. Do it over here in Patch. That's what the reactor blocks are really for. But there are a lot of basic synthesizers already out there, and so I would recommend just diving into here. So that's where we're going to start. We're going to start here with Reaktor Play. So go in here with Reaktor Play. You can see mine always pops up. I don't actually know what the rules are for mine if it pops up with the last one that I loaded, because the last one I did load was Monarch, so maybe it does do the last one I loaded in here. You can have it so it loads up emptiness, so it doesn't load up anything. You can also go up here to Reaktor, click on this and go to File, New Ensemble, but I think if you're using the Reaktor Player, this is not actually an option. So what I'm going to do here is over on the left, I'm just going to open up Monarch again, double click there, and just go over how to see these things. If you are using the Reaktor Player, you're going to have a lot less than what I have here, but essentially you want to click on this magnifying glass right here, and this is going to take you into Reaktor, whatever you have access to. So if for example, if you have Reaktor Player, you're going to have this Reaktor Factory Selection R2. This is what basically comes with Reaktor Player and some other stuff as well. And this includes Carbon 2, Laser-Based New School, and Space Drone. Perhaps a few others. Let's see, before I dive too deep, let's see what actually comes with Reaktor here. With the free version. I always forget. Komplete Start. Because this will show us exactly what comes with it. So, included products. Here we go. So you got the TRK01 base, microprism laser base, carbon 2 space drone, new school, blocks base. All right, cool. So let's talk about those things here, and then I'm going to go over some extra stuff just to show you what else you can get if you actually get the complete package. So okay, let's start with that track 1 base. That's this right here. So if I click on, there's a couple things we're looking at here. First of all, you'll see there's folders here, and these folders, if the folder has a plus, like for example, a good one to select the plus is this Reaktor Factory Library. If it has a plus, that means it has other folders inside of it. So if it's got a plus, you want to click on the plus. If I just click on the name itself, it's not going to actually show me those folders. It will show me any ensembles that are inside of here. And we're going to talk about the ensembles here in just a second. But if I click on this Reaktor Factory Library, you notice it doesn't show me anything down here. The reason it doesn't show me anything down here is because this actually doesn't have any ensembles in it. It's just got folders. So if I click on it, so basically if nothing shows up down here, open the folder up. Okay, there's more folders in here, and I can click on these folders here, and you can see it shows me all of these ensembles. The ensemble, the .ens file ensemble, is really what you want to be using inside of Reaktor. That's the main thing that you as a user are going to be using. So if I go in here, close this folder up, I'm going to go down to the bottom, so where it says TRK01 base. If I click on this, my TRK01 base shows up right here, so I can just double click this and it will load up in here. If I actually wanted to see what the other folders are that are inside of here, I can open up the folder. Oh, okay, I can see it's a documentation folder, and it's got my English manual here, and I can go in here and there's some other folders in here, some license agreements and stuff like that, which you really don't need to read. But if you wanted to read the manual, I think, can you just double click it from here? Yeah, you can just double click it from here, and it has the manual for that synth. And this will tell you all the stuff about that synthesizer. It also gets into how to open up the ensemble inside of Reaktor, all this other stuff that's in here. There's a lot of really important things in here. A lot of those are going to be the same from instrument to instrument, so you don't need to read that on every single instrument. But what you do want to read is like how the instruments work. Most of the ones that come with, or not all, if not all of them that come with Reaktor, that come like out of the box with Reaktor, do include that documentation. So it's not a bad thing to read through. So I've got this in here, and this one here, this TRK01 or track 1 bass, it's just like a kind of a modern 303 bass line. It's just a bass synth. So we could go in here and just program in something. Let's just go in here and say, alright, so I'm just going to go in here and let's say, put this. I'm just going to do like a kind of a 16th note type of pattern. And then we'll do, oh, let's do, actually, hold on a second, let's not do that. Let's do like this. Grab that. Oh, get out of here, person. Come on. Can I click? There we go. Bam. Boom. Get out of here. It's been a while since I've been bombed like that. Okay, so we have that there, and so if I hit play, I'm just going to go in here. So here, like this, I can just like program like a quick little bass line, and now I can just look at my synth, and I can grab things in here, right? And if you've been paying attention to what we've been talking about, you'll notice like what I'm moving here. I've got three things up here. I've got my oscillator, I've got my filter. There's a modifier here, which we don't really want to mix with too much right now. I've got my oscillator, my filter. Down here I've got an aux envelope, I've got an LFO, and I've got my amp envelope right here. So it's a basic synth, as we can see. There's an oscillator, there's a filter, the amplifier is just kind of there. We don't really see the amplifier. And then down here I've got my amp envelope, and I've got my aux filter, which is probably, my aux envelope, which is controlling my filter, and then my LFO, which I don't know what that's controlling. So if we click on this little thing right here, this is my connectrix, my matrix, so I can actually tell what this aux envelope is going to control. And that's it. So we just click on this and we can see, okay, it goes to all these things, and so it's controlling my index right now. Okay, let's pull the filter up. And I can have this control my index. And I can just move my index around. Right. So I could do that, or I can have my LFO connect to my interval here, click and drag it up. Cool. I can set my LFO to stick to my 10th bit here, my beat. And then I can adjust this. I can change my wave. Cool. Awesome. Click on this again. And we can see how this works. Awesome. Okay. And that's basically like what you want to do when you first click on these things is kind of go back to what we learned the other day and go through these and see how does it connect up. The track 01 bass or TRK01 bass is actually really easy to see how it works. The oscillator, filter, aux envelope, LFO, amp envelope. It's a really cool little bass machine, and so it's really useful to kind of go in here and just kind of take a second to look and see what does this do, how does it work, and then how can you tweak it and mess with it. If you don't want to do that, if you just want to dive right in and start using sounds that the Native Instruments people have made, what you can do is you go over here to this little button. It's got a bunch of lines on it, and this is for our snapshots. Now, Reaktor, what it does, they don't call them presets, they call them snapshots, because what's happening is when you load up a synth or an ensemble into Reaktor, all of these buttons here, all these knobs and buttons and faders and whatever, can be controlled. They can be set to different presets or snapshots. So this little button here is your snapshot. I click on this embed one here. See how it's got a plus? I click on the plus and I go down here, and there it's got different folders. And I can see in here it's got different types of presets. So I click on them, and I can use my arrow keys to mouse through them, and it just changes all my settings here. So I just go in here, and we can see the settings. And you can see you can get a lot of different varieties of bass sounds out of just this one synth. Right, and I can just play this stuff with my... And there's even some sub sounds in here. And if I'm like, I like that sound, but it's too bright, I can just pull the filter down. Like that. I haven't really messed with the subs in here too much. There's a couple of cool. There's a couple of decent ones in here. I don't know if this is what I would use for my subs or not. But there's definitely some cool sounds in here. The only way you're going to find these cool sounds is by going through and playing with the presets. So I definitely recommend that you go through and play with the presets. Now, if you want to, what you can do is you can go over here to user and you can store stuff in. So let's say, for example, I got this sound here, and I'm like, all right, this is cool, but I don't want that little wobble in there. I don't want the wobble. Turn up my volume here. There we go. I don't want that in there, so what I can do is I can take it out and I can say, okay, I'm gonna store this or add it in here. So I add it in, and I'm gonna call this one Mumble TG for my name. And there we go, there it is right there. And I can store it, or I can add a new one in here. So if I hit store, it's just gonna put it on top of this one. If I hit add, it's gonna make a new one. So now let's take that one, let's add this one in as a new one, and we'll call this one sub deep, like that. So I can see that it's something that I tweaked or whatever. Okay, that's a nice big rumbly sound. I click on this one, it goes back to that one. I click on this one here, and if I make a change to it, right? So if I go over here, I just want like a little bit of extra. Right, something like that on the beginning, and I say I want that one to be my new sub deep. I just go to store right there, and it stores it in there. Okay, so that's how you can make your own presets by changing these knobs. It's actually super, super easy. Cool. So that's that one there. Let's go to the next one over here. Microprism. Microprism is really cool. It's actually one of my favorite ones in here. Prism is. I think I have Microprism. Hold on, let's go see where. Oh wait, I did the wrong thing. Sorry. I didn't mean to get rid of my Reaktor 6. I meant to just... Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here to my on the left over here, factory selection, no, factory library. Let's go to Prism. Where are you? There's Prism. Prism effects. I think it might be in the Reaktor factory library, microprism under synths. Is it in here? Okay, I don't have. I know I've seen microprism in mine before. The thing is, the ones that I don't really use that much when I reload stuff into my computer. Yeah, no, here's Prism, but I was looking for microprism, and just to show y'all what microprism does. But the thing is that when I don't use stuff, if I reload things into my computer, when I install a new computer, or if my computer crashed a little bit ago, like a couple years ago, and I've never used microprism really, so I know I've seen it, but I don't know if it was on my computer or somewhere else or not. But anyway, here's Prism, and Prism gives you an idea of what microprism is. Microprism is just a light version of Prism. It looks about the same. I actually I can't think of what the differences are off the top of my head. But here's Prism, and this has a lot of really cool sounds. It's basically additive synthesis. Additive synthesis, what it does is it uses sine waves to create the sounds. So silver bowl here. I really do love these sounds in here. If you want kind of a synthy metallic type of sound, really good for this stuff. Really good for like film things and atmospheric things, and just where you're, if you're doing like kind of pad sounds or bell sounds, electric pianos, stuff like that. This can be great for that stuff. I've never loved additive synthesis for bass sounds. Not so much. Some people do. But it's just a... And then in here, there's different categories of stuff. I'm going to go away from the best stuff. I'm going to go down here to bells, sounds. So, some neat stuff you can do with this. Okay, so as I said, there's some really great stuff. I don't actually know what the difference is between Prism and Microprism. To be honest, this kind of looks like Microprism. I thought Prism had a bigger screen, so I have to maybe research and then make sure that I've actually got Prism loaded up in here. I don't know why it wouldn't be, but whatever. Okay, so that's Prism, and next is Laser Bass. Oh yeah, Laser Bass is dope. So Laser Bass is over here in my factory selection here. Laser Bass. So Laser Bass again. Oops, no, I don't want to save that again. So if that pops up, usually you can just say no. You don't need to. You don't want to save it. I'm not sure even why that popped up just now. So Laser Bass, again, is a kind of additive synth, but it's really focused on kind of weirder, crazier sounds, whereas Prism is focused on, Prism has a wide variety, but Prism really has a lot of bells and stuff like that. Laser Bass, it's more kind of wacky, bassy types of sounds. So in here, first of all, up here at Sewer says Ensemble Laser Bass. That's because I have a couple different ensembles happening right here. In here we've got Laser Bass and we've got the Ensemble of Laser Bass, which basically should be about the same. If you ever see an option like this, probably you just want to go with the Ensemble one, because that's the main thing. We're going to come back and talk about what that Ensemble thing means here in just a second. But in here where it says Embedded, I open this up, and down here I've got my basses and leads, effects, and then a tutorial bank. And there is a tutorial that you can find in your with the installation, or you can just find it online. If you want to go looking for it online, just go laser-based tutorial and you'll be able to find it. Maybe in here. It's been a while. I have done the tutorial. It's been a long time though since I've done it, so I don't remember exactly where it ends up on your hard drive. But you can go in and find it. But it just kind of takes you through what, the basics of how to use this stuff. But let's just go in here and check out some basses and leads. So here's like basic sounds that come with laser bass. It's a real focus on kind of like bass music and stuff like that, and just like real electronic stuff. So as you can see, there's a lot of really cool sounds and stuff in here, and then we can go over here to our miscellaneous and effects. Yeah, this is perfect for kind of bass, any kind of bass music. This is perfect for that stuff, and this is a lot of people use laser bass for that stuff. The other one that people use is the other big one is, where is it? The one from Aerosmith. Oh, I'm definitely missing stuff. Oh, no, I'm not. Okay, Razor, this one right here, yeah. Razor doesn't come with your library, but you can buy it separately, or if you have the complete, like one of the more advanced complete packages, Razor, it's got some cool stuff. I actually prefer Razor over Laserbase because there's a lot more. There's a lot more going on, like as far as like sound design, like just presets and stuff, than what comes with Laserbase. A lot of bell sounds and stuff like that. Yeah, Satori says, I feel I'll spend days exploring Reaktor. It's just so cool. Absolutely. I mean, days, years. I'm going to show you some cool stuff about Reaktor as well that y'all may or may not know. But, yeah, you could spend years exploring Reaktor. So much cool stuff in here. Every synth, as you can see, is completely different. So if you actually buy Complete and you get all these extra sounds, you're gonna spending a long time. You kind of have to limit yourself to not just sit here and just be lost in Reaktor for a year. If you want to actually make music, you have to kind of like just focus on something, which is what I've done. Just focus on something and then something I want to dive into that, learn how to use it, stuff like that. All right, Carbon 2. Carbon 2 is a more of a basic-ish synth. It's got your oscillators over here, a filter, and then here's your modulation section over here. That's gonna have your envelopes and your EQ, your envelopes and LFOs and stuff like that, effects and things like that. So we'll talk. Here's your source section here. It's got your envelopes. It's got 3 envelope generators, and then you got your LFO 1, 2, and then a SC scale. I don't know what the SC stands for, actually. I've never really played with that one. But this one here, you've got your oscillators are right here. So I'm just going to go ahead into here, click on this bank 1 here, and let's see if there's a utility, like initialized here. So here's my initialized one. And if you want to learn how to use these things, it's kind of a good idea to find if there's an initialized and init, where it says INIT. The init basically means that it is the initialized one, which is the factory kind of back to the beginning where you're starting from scratch. Now in here, if we do this and we start from scratch, we can go in here, we can see, okay, here's oscillator 1, 2, and 3. Here's a ring oscillator and a noise oscillator. So here's a sine wave, and I can go in here. I can just grab different types of synths. Sorry, not synths. Different types of oscillator waves. Like this. Sine wave, here's some other ones. Ugh. And then down here, some noise like that. And we can scroll through these a little bit and kind of make some things happen. This is like your modulation. Here's this modulation here. What is this? F and D routing. I actually don't know what. Oh, maybe through the filter or direct bypassing the filter. Here's our filter over here. The mode. Different types of modes of filters here. And there we go. So it's like, you know, it's more or less a kind of subtractive synth, but I think this over here, yeah, it changes your waveform. Yeah, let's go ahead. So I can go in here and change that waveform because I'm in wave right here. I think when you're in saw, it doesn't do anything. So this is kind of a what we call wavetable synth, and wavetable synths are really like popular right now. Basically, every synth these days has some kind of, well, not every synth, but every company makes some kind of a wavetable synth. The one that comes with Ableton Live is just called Wavetable, or Wave, or something like that. I showed y'all Pigments has a wavetable oscillator in there. Massive is wavetable. A bunch of other ones are wavetable. It's a really cool kind of way to do synthesis, but basically wavetable is meaning that your oscillator has a bunch of waveforms in it that are different from the just standard sine, sawtooth, square, all that stuff. And then those wavetables, usually you can kind of go through them, kind of scroll through them in some way. So you have a wider variety of sounds, but after that, everything else is basically subtractive synthesis for most of them. So I kind of lump wavetable in with subtractive synthesis. It's not as basic as an analog subtractive synth, but the architecture of the synth is more or less subtractive synthesis. So you've got your wavetable oscillator, goes into a filter, goes into like the amplifier, or, you know, and you've got some like LFOs and envelopes and stuff in there. But you can do lots of cool stuff with it more than that. But basically, if we go over here and we just want to keep this simple, click on where it says oscillator 1. Let's go over here to our pulse here. And I can change the pulse with my wave down here. Or just click it right here in the middle, double click it. And it's just a normal square wave. And then I've got my filter right there. And let's click on this and go to Pro 5, which would be like Prophet 5. It's got a nice, it's gonna have a nice sharp resonance on it over here. I don't know what this is for. What is that for? Let's see. Does it say anything? No, doesn't say anything. But you can see in here, if I click on these things here, I can really kind of go through this stuff here. So we got this low pass 4 Pro 5, and this low pass 6, which is going to have a sharper cutoff, low pass 2, which is going to have a more gentle cutoff, high pass, band reduction, band pass, ZWI. I do not know what that means. And there's a peak filter and there's a comb filter. Let's see. Huh, neat. So you can do some really cool stuff with that in here. Go back to my Pro 5 though. Put that back to, put that down to 0. Open that up. And now what we can do is down here, we can use our sources, envelope generators or LFO, something like that, to control these things. So I can go down here to where it's got this down here. And I say I want to use the LFO1 to control it right here. And now, how much do I want to control it is right here. And here's my rate over here. There we go. Now I'm controlling it. And we've got different things down here we can mess around with. I'm not sure what this... Yeah, this is... Okay, free. There we go. There we go. Double click that to put it back to 0. So if you want like just a basic synth that comes with Reaktor, Carbon 2 is probably one of your best bets besides using the Reaktor blocks. It's great, but you can also do a lot. Like you can see that there are the potentialities for lots more to go on. So we go over here to our embedded like snapshots. Go up here. You can just get an idea for things that you could do with it, which is a lot. But what's really nice is to be able to understand what's happening with this. So I go into my effects over here and I say, okay, I don't want that delay to be as loud or whatever. So there we go. Turn it down, the mix. And you can just go through these, and it's just really useful to understand what you're looking at in here. I can turn my delay off. And there's some, really cool sounds in here. Carbon 2 is great. I just kind of showed it to you. I spent some extra time on it because you can make basic sounds with it. And if you want to learn about synthesis, it's not a bad place to go into within the ones that come with Reaktor. All right, Space Drone. Oh my goodness, Space Drone is cool. Space Drone is not like super obviously useful. It literally is just, you click on a thing over here. I think you have to hit play. Yeah, you hit play. If it's not already playing, hit play, and it just drones. It literally just drones. It's great for making background sounds. It's great for making sounds for your like film project or a TV show or whatever. Really good for that, just kind of backgroundy things. Get a little bit of noise there in the background. It can be really cool just for dropping down and kind of putting in the background of something else. Because it's just an automatic drone. Yeah, meditative music, uh-huh. There's a lot of cool stuff in here. Here's Silver Rain. And if you want to dive deeper into it, you can go over here. There's not a whole lot of options for you to mess with in here. But we could say, let's see here. Density? I don't even know. Fundamental? Oh, speed. Here we go. This is what I want. Let's put this back. Oh, wait. Oh, we're in the embedded part. Oh, interesting. There's two banks in here embedded. But there's only one bank in Ensemble. Okay. So here, let's go back to Silver Rain here. And I can change my speed. This is probably the speed for how fast these things are going. Maybe? No. Yeah, like I don't ever... I just kind of find sounds that I want. Oh, you know what it's probably connected to? It's probably connected to my tempo here. Is it? Nope. Okay. I have no idea. I thought I knew what it was connected to, but yeah, I don't. So if we click on the space drone down here, it has some extra banks, which I'm not really sure why it's set up like that, but there it is. This is cool. Tropical. Neat. But you can see some of these are up here too, so that's cool. Tibet. Arias. So lots of cool stuff in here that you should definitely check out. Now, if you want some kind of non-randomness, if you want it to kind of do the same thing every time, then what you should do is you should record this and sample Space Drone, which I'm going to show you how to sample another one here in a second. But you definitely want to sample Space Drone because every time it goes, it's different every single time. So if you want it to be the same every time, like if you like your stuff to sound basically the same every time, some people do, some people don't, then you should definitely record this in. I would say record it in for like a minute and go through and find a little loop that you like. So, just a food for thought there. Don't forget about sampling this stuff, which I'm going to show you in detail here in a little bit. All right, so we're going to go to the final one here, which is New School. New School's a neat one. I'm going to turn up my tempo here to 90. And this one's definitely one that you're going to want to record. So what this one is, it's a percussion kind of rhythm generator. It can do more than just percussion rhythmic stuff, but I like to use it for generating bass sounds and rhythm sounds and stuff like that, for if I want to grab stuff that's not just like drums. So before we get started with it, we are going to start a recording process in here. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to call this one New, how do they spell it? New School Bounce, like that. And I'm going to go down here to my audio from and connect it up to my Reaktor track right here. And I usually use post effects so that if I turn this volume here, it's not going to affect the input of my track over here. Now, one other thing I do recommend when you're recording stuff, especially like anything from Reaktor, Guitar Rig, stuff like that, anything where you're not sure if it's the audio is going to jump or not, I highly recommend just throwing a limiter after a Reaktor and just set the ceiling to like -5 or -10 or something like that. If you set the ceiling high enough, it's not going to ever actually compress. I don't usually use any gain. I'm going to turn the look ahead like down to 1.5. It's basically, or sorry, yeah, basically just off. And then I'm going to just go ahead and start recording stuff over here while I mess with stuff over here too. Okay, here we go. So now it's recording my audio. It's never gonna clip because it's just not gonna clip because I've got that limiter on there. So I go over here, and now as it's recording, I'm just gonna go ahead and start messing with stuff in here. So the first thing you can do, just to get an idea for what's going on, I'm gonna leave that metronome going so I can just hear where we are with my beat, is I'm just gonna go in here and I'm just gonna go ahead and click on one of these snapshots. You hear how it got super loud there for a second. It's actually hitting my limiter. So this is just useful for not blasting our eardrums out. If I want to turn it down, I can turn it down. It's still recording at the same level it was recording at before. And you can hear some of these are kind of weird. And this one here, I like this one. Let's say we want to grab a part from this one here. So what I can do is I can go in here and I can start turning these off to kind of get an idea for what's going on with these things. Right, here, let's put these both on. And we can see what these are kind of doing over here. There we go, let's leave these on here. And I might just grab a couple of these and just like record like little bits and pieces of these in here. And we can click on these different things here. You can see over here on the left what they're doing with stuff. And I've actually never really read the instructions. I just kind of go in here and mess around with things. But we can go in here and see what's happening with this on this side and what's happening over here on this side here. If you wanted to see that, let's go over here to where it says kick, and I can put these on or off, whatever, but I'm just recording little loops right here. Cool. go ahead in here. And I'm just going to go ahead and put this in here. And mess around with this. The grain here. Let's go in here to our filter. Alright, I'm going to keep this up like this. And now if I want to, I can draw pictures in over here as well. If I click on a block that already has some stuff in it. Right, you can see how this works. I can get rid of these. And basically, and I can change things around as it goes. And I can mess around with these. There we go, that's pretty cool sounding. You know, and you can go in here and just kind of mess with stuff. And if you want to, you can like adjust these knobs as well. You know, and we're getting some kind of cool stuff in here. I'm going to go ahead and turn the grains down. You can hear it's kind of doing some weird stuff over here. And so let's say, okay, cool, I kind of like those, what I just recorded. Let's go ahead and stop that recording. I'm going to go ahead and, this doesn't matter if this is playing or not. I can just delete that. It's just going to play whether that's in there or not. And I'm going to go ahead and mute this. And now we can look and we can see all these little samples that we just got in here. So if I go in here, we can see all the stuff that we just recorded. So what I would do is set my length to like a, it's like a 1-bar loop, isn't it? Right, so go over here and do that. And let's go over here and grab just a few of these and see what we've got. So I'm just going to go over here and hit play. I said I'm going to hit play. Cool. Alright, maybe make it a 2-bar loop so we can just see what 2-bar loop. Basically it's the same. I can close this down. And what I can do is now take some of these and put them on different ones and see what we've got going on here. You can see the waveform is changing there. So if I put this on here, I hold down Option, I drag it over to a new track, and this stuff over here towards the end was kind of neat. Here we go. And I can adjust the start point to adjust my rhythm. And I've got this cool little beat right here. And I can just go through and find which one is coolest. I'm adjusting my start point right here to find different start points. There we go. I kind of like that one. And then if I wanted to here, let's put in like a little hand clap. I'm just going to grab a drum from over here. Go in a hand clap right here. Duplicate this out. Get a little hi-hat going on. Go. you know, there we go. Make that a little bit shorter. Oh. I see. Okay, it's using, right. Okay, cool. So anyway, you guys, y'all get the idea, I think, of just like, you know, I didn't really start off with any kind of idea. I just used New School here to kind of create some things. I just like dove through, recorded some stuff, and then, you know, we're good to go. And if I wanted to, I could listen to what this is doing. You know, like for example, let's grab, let's put the filter in here. Let's actually here, let's see what else we got. Yeah, this one's cool. There we go. Right, and I can record this into, you know, I make a new, here, let's duplicate this one. And I just duplicated that one because it already has my routing set up. And set this up for recording. And record that. And now that's recording there. And just keep recording stuff in here. So you can hear, here's this one here, right? Now one thing we can do with this, it's super cool. We have this here like this. I'm gonna go over here to my, I've got it in beats mode. Change this to like that, set this to 8th notes. Let's put this in 16ths. What's up, James? How's it going? And this one here, I'm gonna move this around. There we go. What's up, James? How you doing? You know, and now you've got like a little beat. All I have to do is just organize this a little bit more. Let's go ahead and save this and call this one, we'll go over here to teaching, and we'll go into the Ableton. Where are you? Ableton. Teaching projects, and we'll call this one James Says It's Fire. Boom. All right, there we go. Cool, and I would definitely, you know, at some point pretty quickly, I would organize. So for example, now I've got like a cool little beat. I would call this one my bass drum. And this one here is my hand clap. This one's my closed hat. What is this one? I don't remember what this one is. This is like Metal Perk 1. And this one here is Metal Perk 2. Whatever, it doesn't matter like what order I did these things in or where they are in the loop. You know, this one's Res Perk, something like that. Nice. Nice. Right here, we'll call this one a noise rhythm. Like that, and now we got these in here. And of course, don't forget that you can put any kind of effects on these that you want. Once you've got these things set up, you can put any kind of effects on here. So I can go over here to my kick drum, and if we want to bring out the attack of these kick drums, I can put like a transient master on here. This comes with, where are you? It comes with Komplete. If you buy the Native Instruments Komplete package, it comes with that. Here we go, boom, transient master. It's a pretty cool one. I can actually cut down the sustain and stuff like that. Let me put that first. Got that there. Or we can attack. We can get the sustain up more. Different transients do better or do different things. So like that's that one there. Let's see. That didn't do as much as I wanted it to do. Let's grab this kilohertz transient shaper. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this one off. Turn this sustain down. There we go. There we go. Yeah. There we go. We can hear that a little bit more. Yeah, cool. And there's not as much of a transient going on with this as I would like. So there's probably, different ways we could do that to kind of bring that out if you wanted to. Or even just take it and make a kick drum, attach a kick drum to it, which is actually a really cool thing. Let me just show you how to do that real quick, actually. This is like a really advanced thing with Ableton Live. But what I can do is I'm just going to take this, I'm going to go ahead and crop it here. Boom, there it is cropped. And I am going to drag this over into my grooves. I'm going to open up my grooves down, not that, sorry. I'm going to open up my groove thing here. And I'm going to right click on it. Is that how you do it? Extract grooves, yep. I'm going to go in here, extract groove. I think though what I want to do before I do that is I want to take it over here into my this view here and actually set it up correctly so it's not looping in this weird way. What I'm doing is I'm going to extract the groove from this so I can assign it to a kick drum to... There we go. Oh yeah, here, let's get rid of that. Hold on, you're just in the beginning there, aren't you? Cool. Okay, so this here, I'm going to Command J it to join it together. So it's going to create a loop based on what I'm actually hearing. Copy that over, paste it into here. Boom. There's my bass drum loop. And I'm going to go to Extract Groove. Right click, Extract Groove. It's going to extract the groove from it. And what we're going to do is we're going to use this groove to create a MIDI clip for our kick drum. So I've got the groove right here. I'm going to go ahead and make a new MIDI track here and drag the groove onto the MIDI track. And now we've got our MIDI of that bass line right there. And I can just go ahead and drag, let's throw a kick drum on there. Boom, 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 boom. Kick. And we just want like a little bit of a beginning thing here. Drag that down here. And now we should be good to go. Right, cool, yeah. Although that is not the right pitch. You're too low. There we go. There's the right pitch. You're not looping. All my... There we go. Cool. There we go. And now I've got like a little bit more of an attack thing going on. And what I would do is I would probably side chain the one into the other. So they're kind of like one's ducking the other one down. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. Let's use my compressor. Put that over here. Grab the side chain from the bass drum. There we go. Oh, not from that. That's side chaining to itself. There we go. There we go. Boom. Bass drum long. And this one here we'll call bass drum short. There we go. Cool. So now I just pull my threshold. There we go. And then hold these down. There we go. And you can hear how it's like side chain. It's way too much, but something like that. You know, you might want to go in and tweak it a little bit more, but there you go, like that. Let's hit play on these bad boys. Oh wow. Not the best short kick drum. I just kind of grabbed whatever was there real quick. Not the best short kick drum, but you get some kind of an idea of like where you can go with these things and what you can start doing with them. So there's a lot more to that you know we're not really going to get into right now, but definitely you can get like an idea of this stuff here. So all right, where are we with stuff? Let me see. That was new school. That's the end. Oh wait. Oh, and the blocks. We talked about blocks the other day, so we're not going to talk about blocks. So that is basically the ones that come with Reaktor, the ones that you've got right now. If you just have the free version of Reaktor, these are the ones that kind of come with it. Now I want to show you some stuff that is not part of the free version of Reaktor. And oh, I don't need to make a new one over here. I'm going to go head over here, and let's go into some of my other ones that I love. That is right over here, and we're going to go up into the Reaktor factory library, because these are the ones, if you buy Reaktor just by itself, these are the ones you're going to get. If you get a basic version of Komplete, these are the ones you're going to get, extra ones. So down here, let's see here, Gaugier is really cool. Open this up right here, hit no. And now when I say really cool, I don't mean it's like super easy to use. It's actually very weird, but I think it's super cool. I think it's really neat. If you can understand what's going on with this, you're doing better than me. I just like to open it up, click on the embedded stuff right here, and just go through all these. Now if you own Komplete, you can open up this edit window to make the screen bigger, so you can see this stuff down here better. I hated the. I don't know how to open this up without the edit window. There might be a way. I've always just clicked the edit window. So what I can do is I can go through the presets. And they're just weird sounds. Some weird stuff going on in here. You have an A and a B. Some of them have A and B, some of them don't. There are different panels here, and we can click on these and see, okay, here's the B part, and this one has, like, this one, you can see this one's like a little bit different than this one here. I think they're both basically the same. I think they're all connected together. So what you want to do is you want to look at this here and say, okay, I want less delay, so you click on that, and I want to mess with that. You know, or maybe over here is where you get less delay. I don't even remember. Oh, here's our mix. Yeah, that sounds like there's no delay in here. So this one's certainly a weird one, but you can do some really neat stuff with them, especially for like sampling. The cool thing about this Gaugier though is that it is consistent. If you pick up, like if I go to this one here, it's gonna sound like that. Even though it's super weird, it's consistent. So it's consistent, which is pretty cool. So that's that. That's the Reaktor Gaugier. Let's go over to what else is in here that I love? I showed y'all. Oki Computer is cool. You can do some neat stuff with this one. No, I'm not gonna. Like it's like got a sequencer in here, and you can do some neat stuff. Again, you can learn how to use this. There's like a sequencer, you know, table down here, sequencer oscillator. It shows you the oscillator, which is kind of cool. But it has some weird sounds, it has some normal sounds. It's kind of a cool one there. But let's get into my favorite one, which is Steam Pipe 2. This is like one of my favorites. I love this one because of it just has this really cool organic sound to it that you can really really mess with. And here, let's go down a couple octaves. Which you can sample and do all sorts of really neat stuff with. I'm just using my mod wheel. So this is using a type of synthesis called physical modeling. Physical modeling is based off of real physics of like real sound, like string plucks and air and stuff like that to create the sound. There's a lot of neat sounds in here. Some physical modeling scents have like brass and stuff like that in there as well. This one doesn't have brass. It's based around air and strings, and as you can hear it, like if you kind of really cool for like sound design. You know, really neat. You know, it's like the horn for some kind of monster coming from the sea. You know, then you've also got kind of more stringy sound. That don't sound, some of these don't sound great. You know, but the bells. So we could go in here with this little thing here and record that in. Pretty cool. You know. And you can get some really cool kind of organic type of sound out of this, which is really neat. I love Steam Pipe 2. It's one of my favorites for just doing weird stuff and showing to people. And I've used it quite a bit in my kind of more ambient compositions and things like that. So that's Steam Pipe 2. That one's super cool. Another one in here that comes with the factory stuff is sound generators. We already talked about Space Drone. Oh no, we didn't talk. Well, yeah. Did we talk about Scroll? No, this one's weird. This one is just super weird. This one's one of those ones I just show people because it's just so weird. We're gonna get away from it now, though. Super alien. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. The sound generators, as you can tell, these just generate sound. Hey, mysterious. Sequencer stuff. I don't really use the sequencers very much. Sequenced synthesizers. Actually, I haven't really messed around with these that much. Okay, I've seen these in action. Let's see, anything going on here? To play a key. Yeah, I don't really. Yeah, I don't really mess with these that much because I'm not like a big sequencer person. I know I'm missing out. I just don't really mess with it much. Let's go over here to our samplers. Travelizer and grain states are dope. Travelizer, let's see here. Let's go into Travelizer and let's grab a sample of me saying something, shall we? Go over here, input. I don't have any input device set up, so we're gonna go here to my external microphone. There we go. Set this up here, and I'm just gonna go to here. Boom, number one. Check 1, 2. I'm gonna stop everything. Oops, what did I do? Get out of here. Stop. Tony voice. And go in here, hit record on this, and go. Let's see here. Make this beat drop. Cool. So I have this in here. Oh, okay, stop. Okay, so I have this here. Make this beat drop. Whoa! Crazy. Is that what it sounds like? I guess it's what it sounds like when I go super close to it, right? So let's grab that. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. This is why I wish I had a way to monitor my voice without crazy amounts of latency. Get out of here. And I'm just going to put a low cut on here to get rid of that. Make this beat drop. Yeah, cool. I kind of like that little distorted thing at the end. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this, and in here, let's put a gate on this real quick. I'm just going to clean it up a little bit. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to put a gate on it. We're just going to keep it as it is. Make this beat drop. Cool. And I'm going to throw it into Travelizer. So the way I'm going to do that is, first of all, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to freeze and flatten the track so it gets that effect on it. So it has that low cut on there. Freeze and then flatten. Once you do that, it's actually going to double it up. So I'm going to get rid of that second one. I can do it this way or that way. Crop clips, boom. Now I'm going to go ahead and show this one in my show in browser. There it is, right over there in the browser. And down here, I'm going to click on my sample button. I'm going to drag this in here to this one. I'm going to go here and get rid of this sample in here. Go all the way over to the left, highlight all these, get rid of all these. And in here, I'm going to go into my embedded sounds. And I'm going really fast because I'm not really expecting you to learn this one. Is there an initialized one? Simple. Here, let's put it at simple. I'm going to set this to 0. And 0 here. So it's just everything is like nothing going on. There we go. Feedback, cut off, mix off. We should be good with all this stuff here. I think we're good with everything here. And sample 0. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag this one in from my browser over here and drag it in. So it's just right here on the first one. So if I, now we can see here it is, it says that here. So if I go over here and I click on this with the keyboard, where are we? How come we're not hearing that? Oh, we're on the wrong one, that's why. Stop. You stop being a thing. Hold on a second. There we go. Boom. There we go. So now, beat this. Make this beat drop. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this. Stop. Where's my... Hold on a second. Sorry, where are we? Stop. Okay. Whoa. Stop. 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 There we go. Goodness, that was annoying. Where's the, how do I get rid of that delay? I don't want the delay. Filter and delay. Feedback. Maybe it's that one. This is like, every time I do this for the first time, because I don't do this, like, I don't use this that much. Every time I do, I always forget how to get rid of that delay. It's still delaying. All right, so what we're gonna do here is it's still moving, so I'm gonna go over here like that. So here's what we can do is the other step to this is you want to assign these things to knobs. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go down here into Ableton Live, and this is really stuff that I don't know how you would do this in Logic or Pro Tools, but in Ableton Live, I click on this little arrow here and I hit Configure, and I move this around here, and now it gives me an XY here, and now I can assign these to knobs on my keyboard. So now I can do like this in here. So if we put this over like this, and again, I don't know where the stuff is here. Position, pitch, grain, and resonator. I don't know. But anyway, here, check this out. Make this beat. You hear how cool that is? Pretty cool stuff. Like it's awesome. I love that stuff. So that's, I'm gonna go ahead and mute that. That's Travelizer in a nutshell, like a very, very small nutshell. That is Travelizer in a nutshell. And you can choose, like, if you want to load in a bunch of different samples for like live performance or something like that, you can choose the samples to load in right here and put these in here. And you just select which one it is. They're assigned to your keyboard, so 0 is the first key, and then 1 through 127. You get 127 different samples loaded in here. This has been around for a very, very long time. I've used this in many, many songs, but I always use it. As you can see, I use it once, I sample it, I move on, and then I always forget like how to get rid of that delay. I always forget how to get rid of the delay. So it's yeah, kind of, yeah, like maybe it's over here. Maybe that's it. Let's see if that got rid of my delay. Oh, there we go. That's what it was. No, that did not get rid of the delay. But you can also do this stuff here where you can have it jitter. You can do like this kind of stuff here. Yeah. Some neat stuff. Neat. You know, so use your imagination there. I think it's super cool, but I think you know, if you're not into it, it's super, super annoying. So that's Travelizer. Another one that's really cool is Grain States. Grain States is kind of the same thing, but it's like a whole bunch of them in a row, and you can set up like a sequencer to kind of go through stuff. So if I drag my sample in here, let's drag the sample in here on the end, right there, boom, and I go in here and I can say, okay, we're going to use the sample. Where is that? Sequencer control. I always, again, Yeah, I think it's this one here, the select button here, yeah. So if I go to select, you kind of have to know, there we go, is that mine? Yeah, that's mine, right there. So there's that one there. And, get out of here. Yes, I'm gonna delete you. So sample number 3 is mine, you can see this. And so if I hit play on this, and I hit the play button, this will kind of go through and hit different parts of the sample here. So it's doing some really weird kind of granular stuff with it. This is really, really old granular synthesis, and this is actually kind of how Ableton Live does their tones and their textures modes. Is kind of based on this. It came from them actually making stuff for Reaktor, and they made it into a whole DAW. But there's a lot of really neat stuff. It doesn't work so well with a vocal like this. It works more like samples and things like that. You can do a little bit more with it, but you can. There's some neat stuff going on in here. There are more advanced granular synthesizers these days that you can get. And when I say get, I'm going to show you what I mean by that here in just a moment. But this is a great place to kind of, because it comes with Komplete. If you have Komplete, these are great to explore. I actually don't know Lurker and these ones here and Memory Drum. Like, I don't really mess around with these too much. Beat Slicer. I have messed around with Beat Slicer at some point, but I actually prefer using the slice function in Live simpler these days, which we're going to talk about next week. All right, so that's one more. I thought there was another one in here. There's also effects that come in here, but you really want to use, you gotta, like, you can't use it as an instrument and as an effect at the same time. You have to throw it onto something that has an instrument in there. Or you could use it twice, I guess, Reaktor. Cool, and there's one more, Sine Beats. Where's my Sine Beats? I feel like it's probably under Group Boxes. Yeah, here it is, Sine Beats. So I'm going to set up Sine Beats. Sine Beats is another really cool one that's very similar to like what we just were messing around with here. So if I hit go, it's playing here. And I'm going to go in here to this, to my embedded one. And you can do some really cool sounds in here, you know, like we did before. So this one's really cool for sampling stuff, especially if you're doing bass music. It has some really neat stuff in it. So let me just show you real quick how this one works here. Here, I'm just going to go ahead and solo this one in my bass drum long here. So what you have here is you have 4 different oscillator sources. Noise, sine 1, sine 2, and sine 3. And there's a sequencer right here. And you've got a mixer down here so you can turn them off and on. So for example, if I want to turn these off and just hear what the one is doing, a little bit hard with that red ring, right? Because the red ring affects my precision. So here. The only thing is it always restarts when you restart everything. I forgot about that. So here's what my noise does, so I can see my noise. Oh, and it's restarting. Why is it restarting every time now? Huh, interesting. It's restarting. Oh, it's restarting when it loops over here. Hold on a second. Let me go over here. Yeah, well, no. Okay, it didn't used to do that, and there's probably a way to make it stop doing that where it's actually restarting every... Huh, oh, it's... There we go. Hold on, let's see what happens if I do that. Okay, it was restarting because this one was playing notes. That's why it was restarting. So, what I would do again is I would set up something and I would record this stuff. So here's my noise. And if I want to hear what these different ones are doing, I just turn them on. And you can do some really neat stuff in here. You got some pitches up top. You got some trigger stuff, modulation. So I click on this and I can trigger that. I can set the direction to go forward or backwards. There we go, forward, like that, so you can hear. I'm going to turn these all down so they're all the way down the bottom. Cool. I can just make a little rhythm here. I can adjust my modulation. Like this kind of stuff. And I can go over here to my release. And I can adjust the modulation, so how much it's going to modulate the release, the envelope. You know, stuff like that. So there's a lot. I mean, I don't want to get stuck on this because I would totally go down a rabbit hole for Sine Beats 2. I love Sine Beats 2. It's one of my favorites. Super cool for creating your own sounds and stuff like that. But you got to really kind of go in here and mess around with it. I've definitely used this for creating bass lines, for creating drum parts, for creating just rhythm things. If we clicked on one of these other ones here. Right. There's little blips and bloops. And you can hear it's like got some, like, you know, cool. It's like a cool little blip and bloop type of thing. You know, I can put the pitch in here. You know, changes to modulation. Let's see if there's anything that happens in here. No, there's nothing set for the modulation right now. Yeah, but you can do some different stuff over here and set things up. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, neat. Cool. So you can get some really cool samples out of this one as well, and this is how I would use this thing, is like just to kind of use it to create samples and go through some things. Sampling stuff, creating these beats, making all this stuff work together does take a long time, so you gotta have patience with this. If you don't have patience, you're really not gonna get very far with all this stuff. So just be aware of that. If you're really into it, you gotta be into it, really. Cool. What else is in Reaktor? I feel like I'm maybe. I mean, the other ones. If you buy the complete package, with you know, more and more stuff, you get things like form. Form is really cool. Go in here, and where's form? Where are you? Huh. Interesting. I need to. Ooh, why is that not there? The player. This here. Interesting. Okay. Monarch, Prism. Yeah, I'm definitely missing some stuff. Molecular's cool. It's like a bunch of like effects, I think, if that's what I'm thinking about here. Yeah, I don't think it liked it when I moved the library over in the beginning. Okay, are we crashing things? Oh no, there we go. Okay, so yeah, it's a bunch of effects. It's cool. I haven't used it in a while. I used it when I first got it, and I was like, this is really cool, and then I forgot about it, so I should definitely check this out, because it's definitely great for sampling stuff. Where's form? Interesting. Form is not there. Prism, Polyplex. Polyplex is great for drums and making like drum hits and things like that. Oh, you know what I'm thinking about? I'm thinking about rounds, not form. Form. No, I am thinking about form. I need to find my form, because I do like form. These are taking a while to load up. There we go. So I got this one here. This one, you can, yeah, it's like you can make drum kits, or you can make individual drums. You just gotta, with this one here, you just gotta find where you're triggering things, because it's like very specific where it is on here. Hello. There we go. So what's cool about this is so you have these sounds in here. If you hit the little randomize button, what this sound is created by all these different these samples here, these 4 different samples. So I can hit this randomize button, and now it'll change the sample, like how the samples are set up, and I can find. Let's see. You know, it changes what the samples are playing, but you can also just pull up like kits. There's some cool kits in here. But you could say, okay, let's see what happens if I click this here. If I click on it, I can also go in here and I can lock things. Then I can say, all right, keep those 2, but change the other ones. You know, there we go. You know, different stuff. So there's a lot of different kits in here. Polyplex is really cool. The original one, it was called like Tornado or something like that. I actually owned the original version by Twisted Tools. I still do. I just haven't downloaded it in a while because Polyplex is in here. Although the other one has 8 instead of just 4, so you can do a lot more with it. Razor I showed y'all. Prism I showed y'all. Rounds is super cool. I really want to know where my form is. Different sounds in here. This is great for more EDM-y type of stuff, and you can go in here and you can say, all right, go in here and grab my embedded, different bass sounds. But I've never actually used it for bass sounds. What I've used it for is like pad sounds. It's great for these pad sounds. Because every time you play, it goes to the next one. And you can have it set up in all sorts of different ways. You can have different things set up. One thing about this though is like programming. It's a little bit of a pain. It's kind of hard to kind of get in here and program it. There's a whole bunch of different oscillators. It's really cool. Yeah, I really like this one a lot. Very good for film score or ambient stuff. Boards of Denmark. That's funny. It's so amazing that's like you hear that kind of sound and you think Boards of Canada. Like, it's pretty cool. Lots and lots of stuff in here. Anyway, I definitely recommend that you check out Rounds. It's got some great stuff in there. Anything else that I want to point out before I bounce? Yeah, you can make you can use Rounds to make like house music and like film score stuff, but it's also got great EDM sounds in there as well. So if you're trying to make EDM stuff, you can do that as well. Scanner XT is also super cool. You can drag samples into it. It's another granular type of thing, but it comes with a bunch of sounds as well, so you don't have to drag stuff into it. Again, it's really good for ambient stuff, organic stuff, because you can drag samples into it and really kind of do some neat things with them. And then I think over here, I don't know how this stuff works. You can set up different presets somehow, but I've never actually used this feature. I just drag stuff in and then just kind of go. You know, some really beautiful things in here. All pitched. Not all of them, but these are pitched. I can go down here. Let's go to the chiptune. What? Guess what music I'm not a fan of? I never actually really explore these other things in here. I usually just like stick to the soundscapes and stuff, but I should probably come in here and mess with the different, mess with these different sounds. Anyway, let's move on and see if there's anything worth moving on. Spark. Oh, this one here. Oh. This is maybe what I was thinking of when I was thinking that Prism looked different. I was probably thinking about this one here. I was probably thinking about this one. So this one here is more or less subtractive synthesis, but it goes beyond it, I think. I don't really mess with this one so much because I always kind of dive in here and I'm like, alright, cool. It doesn't really impress me right off the bat, so I just kind of move on, as I'm about to do right now, but you should definitely check it out because it looks like there's a lot you can do with it in here. And then the finger and the mouth are effects for stuff. Where's my form? The flesh is, again, I think it's an effect. I don't know, there's just so much with Reaktor, it's hard to like really get into all of it. Oh, this one here. Yeah, this is like a sequencer type of thing. And I don't really mess with this one here so much. Here, let's turn this up to like 110 or something. And you can go in here and you can play different parts of your keyboard. I know why I don't use this one so much is because I don't usually have a full-size keyboard set up, but you can play and change these here. And it's kind of neat. You can set things up down here, but it's all like it's more like prearranged stuff, which I don't generally get into. You can turn these down and mix them. Here's this. You know, it's more for kind of building different like little things, which has never really excited me. So there's chords, there's your notes. You know, maybe it's something to explore, but I think usually I think I'm pretty good about this one here. Yeah, I haven't really messed with it too much. All right, we're gonna stop there. That's all for today because it's a Friday. I'm gonna let y'all kind of get out of here from here, and let's go over to Zoom and talk about it. Make sure we're all good about what we're working on. Otherwise, y'all who have been joining us on the side, thank you very much for joining us. I will see everybody on Monday, and on Monday we're gonna be talking about sampling. So we're going to get into sampling. We're going to use Ableton Live for sampling. We're also going to talk about the sampler Falcon that comes with Pro Tools a little bit. I'm not an expert with it, but I will point you in the right direction for that. And then also we're going to talk about Contact because I am pretty good with Contact. So we are going to talk about that stuff on Monday for those of you who are joining us outside of SAE. For those of you who are in my class, let's go over to Zoom. All right, be in Zoom at 11:40. Okay, it gives you like 13 minutes to go do other stuff. Okay, cool. Thank you very much, everybody. I will see y'all later.